is an oddball mixture of things from my garden that I didn't have enough of to do anything with other than add them together and make the base for several different dishes. When we were kids, my mother used to make a thing called Garden Special, and she would pack canning jars with tomatoes, celery, and onions. And then later she could open up that canning jar, dump that out, and use it for goulash or spaghetti, whatever she wanted to use it for. Over the years, when I've gone out to the garden, I pick things there's only a few of, which kind of makes the problem of what to do with it. So I had some green beans, a little handful, not enough to freeze. I had 1 zucchini. I had about 12 tomatoes and a couple of okra. Nothing I could do with it other than throw it all in the pot, add a little water to it, let it cook down, add some salt and a little bit of seasoning. And what do I do after that? Well, after that, I'm going to put it in these canning jars. And then what I've done and what my family likes to eat is we call it hamburger soup. And it's basically any vegetable you want. You throw it in a pot, cook it all down. I'll add onions to this, I'll add cabbage to this, and hamburger. And everybody loves it. You can put any kind of vegetable in it you want. You just basically cook it all together, and salt, pepper, and maybe garlic is the main ingredients that you add to, or seasonings that you put in there. But this is getting about ready to go into the canning jar. And it's called hot pack. When you boil the food, and then you put it into the canning jars, put the lid with the top on it, make sure everything's nice and clean, and then as the hot food cools off inside the canning jar, it creates the vacuum, sucking down the lid like that and sealing it up, which is what I intend to do. Because, yeah, that's possibly 3 quarts worth of stuff right there. And by itself, the tomatoes by themselves wouldn't have been enough to can anything, nor would I have been able to do anything with all the other stuff except toss little bags into the freezer. So this is a good way to make use of the oddball veggies. Little tool, which is a canning jar funnel. Put it in there, and we're gonna go ahead and load these jars up. Like I said, this has got okra, zucchini, tomatoes, green beans, and now that I think of it, I threw a hot pepper in there too. Okay, there's one. Take a clean cloth, wipe that top down really good. On to the next one. This is a good way to use your veggies when you have such small amounts that there's really nothing else you can do with them. Like I said, I didn't have enough tomatoes to do canning, and you can only eat so many tomato sandwiches. Zucchini, I've eaten fried zucchini, boiled zucchini, zucchini, and after a while you get kind of tired of that too. So when you put it in the canning jars like this, I seal it up. It'll be good for another day when I feel like making that hamburger soup. I'll be all set. Again, key thing is always to make sure there's nothing on the edge of that jar to interfere with the sealing process. And those little things are hot. When I was saying we were kids and we canned everything, there was quite a few of us. I live alone, and typically anything I do like this ends up at my son's house because he's got so many kids. They're not too crazy. A couple of them ain't crazy about veggies, which is kind of sad because my son loves veggies. He loves to come here and get in the garden and see what he can get. He's got a garden at his house that he's doing very well with. And I'm going to end up with a little bit left over, actually. Alright, let's get that out of there. down. Always leave that little bit of headspace. Uh-oh, I got that one dirty. So now I gotta do it again. Because if you get any gaps in there, any particles of food that prevents the seal, it won't seal. That means that the vacuum did take place and it sucked down in the middle. And there they are. So that's what you do when you have veggies that you don't have enough to do anything with, really. Throw them all in a pot. Just make sure you got plenty of salt in there. Boil them, and then throw them in a nice clean canning jar and seal them up. So that's the quickest way to do it for somebody who lives alone and doesn't want to waste all the veggies. Like I said, that's going to be awesome. My mother used to say, it's going to taste so good when the cold wind blows. And she's always right.